So I was going to film this. It's a 2002 Explorer Sport. It's a stick shift, and it's real difficult to get into gear. They had a clutch put in this thing last year. It doesn't have very many miles on it, but I mean, just I got to shut it off to get it in and out of gear. And then you can just shift gears out of the clutch if you want to. But anyway, they're not happy with that. So I was going to film this, but I'm out of diesel work. There's nothing to do. It's dead. And it's the only thing I got to work on, and I'm trying to keep videos coming, keep the channel going. So I've already diagnosed this. Parts are here, so I'm not going to really run through what I've done. We're just going to we'll start filming now and take a look at putting the parts on. Now, I'm like a kid at Christmas time when it comes to parts. I've already opened this box up. It's a master cylinder, and it comes with everything. There's our master cylinder. There's a line that goes to the clutch slave cylinder, and there's our supply reservoir. Supplies fluid to the master, which supplies fluid to the clutch slave. Pre-bled, you don't have to worry about it. As far as under the vehicle goes, with the business end, this is the line which I've already detached, and there's this little collar here, and that's what releases it. And there's a special tool, a regular screwdriver will work, but you basically push this in and it'll release this unit from the slave cylinder up there. Now up north they don't ever work, but down here in the south they pop out real easily, so that sits in there like that. And the clutch is brand new. It's got tons of service rust on it. But one of the things you can do, you can just pop this off here, and you don't want any fluid to run out of it. Alright, if you need to take a sample of the fluid, you can just push in on this plunger and fluid will run out. And then with that disconnected, you shouldn't be able to push the clutch pedal at all. None whatsoever. And we could push the clutch pedal with this one disconnected. And so we're going to freshen it up. And to do that, we need to get in the vehicle, disconnect the clutch rod, master cylinder rod from the pedal, take the wiring off for the starter, so you can't start it in gear. And then we're going to pull the left fender liner out to access the master cylinder. So this opens up a little bit. The fender liner out. Got the clutch line right there. We can see the fender line, the steering shaft. You can get right to the spark plugs. AC compressor is super easy to get to now. We've got the evap purge, and then you can even get to the horns there. On the clutch master, goes through the firewall right there. So you can see the extreme angle that that's at. With that extreme angle that the master cylinder is at, it's a bad thing. Let me get the master cylinder. So in the days of yesteryear, so here's what we're looking at on the vehicle. It looks like that right there. In the days of yesteryear, you could get just this master cylinder all by its lonesome. And it was an endless source of frustration for people that if they didn't pay attention and didn't bleed this on the bench, the clutch would never work, ever, in a million years, no matter what they did, because there would be air in the top up here because your fluid enters the bottom and comes out the bottom. So this would just stay full of air. So to physically bleed this correctly, you got to bleed it on the bench like this, so the fluid can actually fill the whole cylinder and then get pushed out, and the air can get expelled out here. So you could even have it like that, maybe like that, but like that, no good. So this is pre-filled and pre-bled. We don't have to do anything with it, which is awesome, because that, I guess Ford got tired of paying for master cylinders that were okay. People kept saying they were bad. Who knows what the story is, but nowadays this is an easy job. Now we're on to the fun part, the interior. It's a bit of cramped quarters in here, so cramped that I took the seat out. So me and all of you guys could fit in here. Yeah. So here's our brake pedal. Here's our clutch pedal. Now you remember I said that I took the line off the slave cylinder, and a quick down and dirty test is to push the pedal, and you shouldn't be able to push it at all. And this one, I mean, we can, if you watch the rod stroke into this clutch switch here, I mean, it goes an extraordinary amount. And I mean, it shouldn't even, that's about it. That's all you should be able to move is that. And we can push that far. So that's the amount that nothing's happening before the clutch tries to disengage from the flywheel. So you can imagine that this thing's grinding gears like crazy trying to shift. So the next step is we got to disconnect the rod from the pedal, and we got to get this switch off of here, and then this will twist 90 degrees out of this bracket, and we slide the whole thing through the firewall. And let me see if I can set you guys down while I do all this and still see what I'm doing. Alright, the clutch rod is popped loose. I think you can see that. I'll disconnect this connector. And this guy, we can just spin it around so we can access the cover here. Lights in the way. And then this cover just slides off here. I'm going to get both hands in here. Just slide that off. And then this just pop loose. Pop right out. just like so. So we'll set the switch out of the way. Now all we're left with is twisting our master cylinder out. We'll do that from the other side of the firewall. Let's twist that 45 degrees to where it lines up with the slot and slide it out. And all I'm doing is moving a couple of wiring harnesses so I can route this remote reservoir as properly as possible. It just makes it easier after I unbolt that from the fender to run the hose and assembly down to the master there, and just get all that out of the way, and I can just set it up into place. Now the new master doesn't come with pushrod, and I usually order one of these when I order a new one, but I forgot, just because it's a pain in the neck to get these out of here, and I'm kind of lazy. So let's see if we can get that thing out of there. So there's our two fingers. There's a finger there and on the opposite side. to hold this in, this collar here. So just got to release those, and this can be put back on new master. There. Easy peasy, right? On the new one, you can see he's having a hard time focusing today. You can see the little release fingers on the new one. They're kind of difficult to get to. I'm sure there's a tool to remove those, but I don't have one. Now let's reverse the disassembly process. Now I'm going to put my clutch rod in until I'm ready at the top. Stick it in afterwards. Make it a little easier to push this thing through. Really get this thing into an awkward position to get it to lock in. Grommet in. Which is easier said than done. The trick on the grommet, or any grommet for that matter, is always a side that's blind, like in this case, on the side of the mattress on it. So temptation would be to put this side in first because it's easy to get to, but resist temptation and put the tough side in first. Then you can work the easy side in. So we're in. I mean, it would be really bad if that didn't seat correctly, because if the cowl panel leaked or whatever, the floorboard would fill up with water every time it rained. It would run right into that, and they'd have a water leak. So the new mash cylinder's in, and we can see the grommets seated all the way around, or seated in there. Now we can put this old girl back on. And this, in my case, obviously is a one-shot deal, so we don't want to be ready. We don't want to screw this up. That'll go down in there. I may have to move the camera. Not 100% sure here. So that'll go right there. And this. You can't see what I'm doing up at the clutch pedal. I can't either because I've got the camera in the way. Pull this pedal up. I don't know if you heard that click or not, but that was the rod being attached. Now all simply got to do is push this down, and that rod will feed into the master cylinder, which I don't have a very good angle there. There we go. So now we're clicked into place. And I can't move the clutch at all. So the test was to, seeing this thing was good or bad or not, was being able to move this clutch pedal. And I've just replaced the master, and I mean, I can't even, you got your free play in the clutch obviously, but I mean, it won't even budge. So we're good to go there. Good call. Of course, I still haven't tried to drive the thing yet. I don't know why I'm out of breath. And then this simply, there's a spring. Man, it's so hard to see under here. So this little white piece, this spring setup, that's going to catch. It's going to catch on that right there. That's what's going to engage this thing. So we're just going to simply put that right there, kind of cockeyed, and bring it around. And now you can see how the system will work. Alright. And then we'll put the retainer, little locking device on here. That just simply goes, oops, like that. Locks down into place, and then that'll plug in like so, and it'll stay put. We press the clutch, just like that. Now we're done under here. Now I can put the seat in that I took out for no reason. Well, there's only one drawback. It's having a system that's fully bled, primed up, full of fluid. And that's gonna be a real booger bear to plug that thing in. When the line's empty and there ain't nothing in it, then it'll plug right up. But when it's full of fluid, you gotta when it's full of fluid, you gotta get right after it. So let's see if this makes a liar out of me. So you can see this collar here. If we were to push this collar back in, it would release this line from the sleeve cylinder. So the last thing we got to do while we're on here is put this suspension cover on. Now that phone call I just got, that was a good phone call. That was a fellow that I looked at his truck a while back, and it's an 05 6-liter, needs head studs. Needs head gaskets. He wants to stud it because he's going to use it for towing, and that's a win-win for everybody involved. Him, because we'll fix his truck to the best of my ability. Me, because I need the hours because there's nothing to do. And you guys in particular, because I don't have any footage of a cab off project. So I've taken many cabs off, but I don't, none. I got my camera after we don't work on too many 6-liters at the dealership. Not this one anyway. They're all in the hands of the independents. So if all goes well, in a month or two, I'll have a video up of a cab off doing head studs. Before we go too far putting this thing completely back together, I just got the wheels off the ground. I'm gonna hop in it and see if we can get it going out of gear and through all the gears. Let's see, we're good to go. Alright, so now I can just reassemble this thing. I'm going to throw the fender liner in it, tire back on it, and then we'll go for a ride. Last but not least, anytime I have a tire off, it doesn't matter what the customer's in for, if I have a tire off, always check and adjust the tire pressures. Because most customers don't. And I'll hand torque the wheel, always hand torque them. As I've gotten older, I've gotten away from torque sticks. And just a little behind the scenes thing that the customer doesn't know about, but all they know is their tire is round and they're getting good gas mileage. Part brake don't work, and the seat don't adjust for nothing, so I gotta kind of deal with what I got. almost out of fuel, so this will be a short test drive. So after driving this thing, it just felt like the clutch could be a little better. So I brought it back in on the lift to bleed it after the slave cylinder. So basically I just got a little jumper line here going up, and that's an 8mm wrench. And you just basically pump the pedal 5 times, hold it to the floor, and then crack the line open until you get air. We got quite a bit of air out of here actually. And you do that a couple times. You don't have to do it too many times. And while I was there, I checked. Here's the drain plug, and there's the fill plug, and I just checked the transmission fluid level. We got the Explorer done. We were out driving around, and it just felt like the clutch could do a little bit more than it was doing. That's why I brought it back in and bled it at the final component at the very end. Most of the time you don't have to. You just slap it together and it's good, but you know, we got a little air in there or something happened. But you know, if I was thinking it had a little bit more, you know, and I never drive the vehicle, then a customer that drives it every day, they would definitely pick up on it as soon as they left the parking lot. And you know, you don't want them coming back and then having to wait because their ride's already left and they're back with a problem and they're going to wait in the waiting room, and you're scrambling and it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. You know, and then they're questioning everything you've done up to this point. So got that little bit of extra air out of there, and man, it was like butter. I mean, just the whole rest of the time. So good to go on that one, and we're moving on. Thank you for watching.